Hello, I'm Joe Wilk, an Analytics and Operations faculty member in the Freeman College of Management at Bucknell University. I have the pleasure of teaching sports analytics. Today we're going to talk about a movie that's very famous in both sports and analytics, Moneyball. Moneyball is about the 2002 Oakland Athletics. It was written by Michael Lewis in 2003. The movie came out later, starring Brad Pitt as Billy Beane, the general manager, and Jonah Hill as the assistant general manager, Peter Brandt. Now, before the 2002 season, the Oakland A's had won 2 division titles back-to-back, and they were trying to make the playoffs for the 3rd straight year with one of MLB's lowest payrolls. In the offseason, prior to the 2002 season, the Oakland A's lost 3 key free agents, and so they had to replace their production. Jonah Hill's character is explaining to Brad Pitt's character some formulas for how they can replace that production. This formula is known as the Pythagorean theorem of baseball. It was developed by Bill James in the 1980s. What it does is it compares runs scored versus runs against, and it can be used for any type of scoring system that looks at points for versus points against. Now, in baseball, the optimal exponent for this system is 2, which is why it's known as the Pythagorean theorem of baseball. It has nothing to do with geometry or triangles. Now, for sports that have higher points scored, such as in the NFL, the exponent would be larger, around 3 or 4. And in the NBA, where they score above 100 points regularly, the exponent would be like 15 or 16. And in this next clip, we're going to look at runs created. The runs created formula was also developed by Bill James, and it's been adjusted a number of times, and you will see it multiple times in this movie. But what it ultimately does is it takes everything a hitter or a batter would do and tries to predict how many runs they will create for the team. All right, so spoiler alert, the Oakland A's started that season pretty poorly. But on August 13th, they started a 20-game win streak, which is still one of the longest win streaks in Major League Baseball history. And they went on to make the playoffs for the 3rd consecutive season by winning their division. The movie makes things a little bit more dramatic than the book. In reality, the Oakland A's had really good players that year. They were led by the MVP that season, Miguel Tejada at shortstop. They also had a Gold Glover and another MVP candidate at third base, Eric Chavez. But most importantly, they had some excellent pitching. They were led by the Cy Young Award winner that year, Barry Zito, along with Mark Mulder and Tim Hudson. And don't forget the lights-out closer, Billy Koch. And those were the main reasons why that team excelled. The Oakland A's finished that season 103-59, winning the division and making the playoffs again. And in fact, their Pythagorean win theorem would have had them actually winning fewer games than what they actually did. But unfortunately for the Oakland A's, they went on again to lose in the playoffs. The movie amplifies the need for analytics in baseball. However, in my class at Bucknell, we spend more time talking about how analytics has to be coupled with the expertise of the coaches and the athletes, not only during the game, but also in practice, in training, and in health and nutrition, so that they're better prepared to excel in the field and on the court. At Bucknell, one of our most famous alumni is Christy Mathewson. He is most well known for being one of the greatest pitchers in Major League Baseball history and an inaugural member of the Baseball Hall of Fame. When he was a student at Bucknell, he was a class president, and he played not only for the baseball team, but also for the football team and the basketball team. In fact, he was more well known for being a good football player at Bucknell than a baseball player, and he did briefly play professional football. He is memorialized at Bucknell with the naming of our football stadium, and every student at the beginning of their time at Bucknell walks through the Christy Mathewson gates, and then they walk through them again at graduation, signifying both the beginning and the end of their journey as a student at Bucknell University.